In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear upper shock mounting kit. Okay friends, let's get started on our job. The first thing you need to do is make your way in the trunk and turn off your air ride suspension. The next thing that you'll want to do is safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Continue on to removing your center cover. After you have that off of there, remove all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts and then the wheel. The next thing that you want to do is make sure you apply a little bit of support underneath your rear differential. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, we have a nice clear view of our rear shock. Let's start removing this by making our way to the top. Now that we have that cover off there, we can start removing our 15mm headed nut. It's common when you try to turn this nut counterclockwise, the entire shaft of the shock will spin. If that's the case, go ahead and hold the top area of the shock with some locking pliers while you turn the nut counterclockwise to remove it. Go. There we are. Now we can pull this off of here. I always like to take that nut and just start it back on a couple threads. Follow that shock all the way down to the bottom where it connects onto your rear differential. To remove this bolt, we'll be using a 15mm on the inboard side of the bolt. For the nut, use an 18mm. There's that nut. Give the shock a wiggle to remove your mounting bolt. Give your mounting hardware a quick inspection, make sure it is still reusable. Let's make our way back up to the top. Let's go ahead and grab onto that shock, remove our upper mounting nut, set that aside. Remove the shock from the vehicle. Now that we have that off of there, continue on to removing the bushing from the top of the shock. Just get in between this area and gently pry it up. All right, now you'll notice I applied a little bit of lubricant to this area of the shock. Continue on by putting on this bushing. After you've done that, you can slide it up in through this area of the frame. Now we'll put on the top bushing. Looking at this, you can tell that you have a concaved area. We want that facing down towards the other bushing. Continue on with your top plate. And then start on your mounting nut. Now let's make our way down to the bottom. Go ahead and line this up. Start in your mounting bolt, slide it right on through. Put that mounting nut on there. We'll snug this up and then torque it to 66 foot-pounds. Now let's move along to our top nut. You're going to have to hold the top stud of the shock itself while you tighten your 14mm nut. I'll use my ratchet wrench on here. Some locking pliers to hold this still. Now that it's snug, let's torque that to 30 foot-pounds. Once you've done that, continue on by removing your center support. Let's continue on to reinstalling the wheel. Start on all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts, bottom them out. After that, we can get the wheel back on the ground and torque them to 100 foot-pounds. With the wheels safely on the ground, torque each of these lug nuts in a crisscross manner. Once your lug nuts are torqued, continue on with the center cover. All right, now let's make our way back into the trunk. Find the air suspension switch, switch it to the on position. After you've done that, go ahead and close the trunk, take your vehicle for a road test. Make sure you don't hear any funny noises, and get yourself safely down to your local alignment shop. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.